The group of ministers on GST for online gaming, horse racing and casinos held a meeting today to review their decision of increasing GST to 28% on online gaming. The GOM has now decided to hold an additional meeting in New Delhi to finalize the report and submit it to the 48th GST Council, which will convene in August. Karishma joining us with more on this. Karishma, what's the current proposal of the GOM on online gaming?
Well, Abha, first thing has to be that this issue has been quite ongoing for some good time now. It was before the last council that GOM had submitted a proposal, a draft report that talks about increasing GST on online gaming from 18 to 28% and to bring it at par with that of betting and fantasy gaming. But today's meeting stands inconclusive as per sources. In fact, West Bengal Finance Minister has also told this to us on record that the proposal that they have come up with may need intervention of law committee to assess the legality of it under the GST law. So until the law committee gives a green signal, the group of ministers on online gaming, horse racing and casinos will not be able to take a final call. However, we are also being told that it is the end of month that they plan to meet physically in New Delhi, likely to finalize the report. And since the GST Council has now extended the deadline from 15 July to that of 10th August, the GOM is confident of being able to submit a report by then. Let's not forget that what they're actually proposing is 28% on entire face value when it comes to online gaming.
Okay. All right, Karishma, thanks so much for joining us with that. Inflation in crisis hit Sri Lanka continues to wreak havoc for the common man. People in Sri Lanka are losing savings by the second, and rising prices of basic necessities is putting a strain on household budgets. The economic crisis in the tiny island nation has reached a stage where people have to wait for 10 hours to get a cylinder of LPG. Take a look at what the people of Sri Lanka are grappling with in the face of the worst economic crisis.
Massive anger in Sri Lanka over festering economic crisis. A never-before siege on the Lankan power corridors. While the ruling class has failed to deliver, it is the common man who is suffering. As the people of the country grapple with its worst political and economic crisis, skyrocketing prices of basic necessities are wreaking havoc. Inflation has galloped to a record 54.6% in June. This year, inflation has surged over 40% in the country. Moreover, the country's central bank expects it to go as high as 70%. With food inflation surging to over 80% in June, household budgets in Sri Lanka are stretched to the breaking point. Prices of most of the vegetables have more than doubled. Onions and potatoes now cost over 200 Sri Lankan rupee per kilogram. Tomatoes are being sold at 150 rupees per kilogram. Carrots now cost 490 rupees per kilogram.
These potatoes, which look dark in color, are from Pakistan. These onions are from India, and such way are only the Sri Lankan people are getting their produce, what they require for in their market. It is an extremely unfortunate situation over here where people have to suffer and they are still protesting even here against Gotha.
With soaring food prices in the island of 22 million people, 70% of households are now reducing food consumption. The locals are fighting a battle on every front. Amid a shortage of LPG, serpentine queues can be seen outside LPG distribution centers. Citizens have to wait for minimum 10 hours before they can lay their hands on a 12.5 kilogram LPG cylinder, which now costs nearly 5,000 Sri Lankan rupees.
One cylinder here costs around rupees 4,900, close to 5,000 rupees, while in black market it goes up to 12,000 rupees. That is the shocking part, and that's the reason so much restriction. Even people are ready to buy it for 12,000 rupees, but unfortunately cylinders are not available, and that's the reason people have to wait here for several hours to get a fill of cylinders.
But how did the island nation land in such a soup? The crisis comes after COVID-19 hammered the tourism-reliant economy, and this has been compounded with the build-up of huge government debts and rising oil prices. Moreover, a ban on the import of chemical fertilizers last year devastated the agriculture sector. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.